but I'm hyper DNF duel. Perfect opportunity to talk about that. So, yeah, I think we should have an extended discussion of DNF duel because I've seen a lot of opinions about the game. I've seen a lot of people talking about it, and I've seen a lot of really positive reception, especially from like I guess a casual level of player, just people that are just into, but not like super into fighting games. And I think DNF Duel's doing it for a lot of people for a few variety of reasons. But I'm gonna explain why it's kind of doing it for me at the point of which it's at now. And the number one thing is that, yeah, it's a simple fighting game. It definitely is, right? It definitely is a fighting game that only has so much on the surface level that you can do. And we'll talk about that. Like, is the game simple? Does it need to be super complicated? Shit like that. Here's the thing that I really like about it. And some have discussed this before over the past like week or so. DNF Duel and its eventual release to reveal of what the game is, how the game is played, and what we're even going to do is extremely alien. If the game did not sort of live up to any sort of standard, if it wasn't enjoyable, if it was slow and boring and nobody liked it, then that would have been a different case. But the fact that it was pretty fun and crazy and great looking, to me, led even a bit more towards the positive word of mouth of the game. Impression is like everything, you know? The first impression is so important for fighting games, even to this point, to this day, that has a resounding impact about how you feel of the game going forward, regardless if it is something that is either simple or super deep and complex or anything like that. And I'd say that, yeah, the first impression of DNF when you play it is like, it's very good. It leaves a very good first impression. Upon like deeper analysis, yes, there is definitely some issues. We're not even talking about the online functionality of the game. I'm specifically talking about just like interpretation. You're immediately given characters with these giant ass bombastic special moves and big ass normal attacks and all this crazy. You're like, damn, look at what you can do. Look at this Jesus guy. He's fucking crazy. Like you're given all this nutty stuff that every single character can do. And it's really satisfying just to come across what's possible, what you can do, you know. Few iterations. I think Guilty Gear is a game with really satisfying special moves for the most part. This game loves its specials. This game absolutely loves the S button and it loves the blue S button, right? It loves you spending meter on stuff and it loves you doing these huge ass attacks that linger and they last and they're friggin' nuts. Almost to the point where it wants you to do the attacks more than move around and stuff like that. And that is to me, that's like a weird breath of fresh air, especially in terms of grounded footsie fighting games, because that's what this is. Like, let's break it down. This is a technical, slow, methodical, grounded footsie fighting game in many ways. You can't block in the air type of stuff. So the game essentially wants you to footsie it out with each other and whiff specials and whiff punish and do that kind of stuff. That's what the game is eventually going to throw bait. That's what the game's eventually going to grow into. But just being able to use like a huge variety of special moves feels so damn good that it's hard not to see the possibilities of what you can do. And even when I was playing the brief amount that I was with some characters, I already saw other people playing characters completely different ways. And I was like, damn, well, that's not just the way you do that. Damn, you can do that after that. Damn, you can do that after that. Here's the thing. I think I'll agree with a lot of people. And I will say that, yeah, the game definitely comes across as being simple. But I have a counter argument to that. Saying a fighting game is simple in the first like few days of you playing it is hilarious to me, because people have called so many fighting games simple in the first few days of playing that go on to be the most technical fighting games of all time, right? There's a little game called Super Smash Brothers, even Super Smash Brothers Melee, a relatively simple fighting game. Here's what I'll have to say to people that are calling DNF Duel simple. And yeah, I kind of agree. It feels simple at the start. It feels that way. People will add depth to things, right? People will add depth to the most simple of actions, the most simple of competitive elements. I'm not even talking about video games, right? You could take anything. You could take fucking Mario Party and you could add depth to that shit, right? You can take the most simple of games, what people have called super simple. People had huge words of discouragement for Marvel vs. Capcom 3 when it came out. People said nothing but like, oh, this is just this game, but super simple and brain dead was Dragon Ball FighterZ when that came out. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus was a game that was way too simple for too many people when it came out. And yes, I'll echo that I felt that way in some way about those games in some fashion, right? I definitely felt like, you know what? I kind of am looking for something different out of my fighting game, but does that mean it's simple? No. Just because it has some things that are easier to do than other games doesn't make it simple. There will be people will add plenty of fucking depth to something. Trust me. If people are into something and there's a reason for you to get into something, right? Then you're absolutely going to find ways to create a new meta, to create a new level of integrity to even the most simple of games. So to me, that's not even an issue. Like, I don't even really feel like the game is too simple, right? And yes, I think some characters were really fun. I didn't get to play every single character, but the characters that I did play definitely felt like they had some sauce. It was like, damn, this is possible. You can do this too. You can do that too. Shit, it is going to be annoying. Absolutely, it's going to be annoying. But I think that's just natural. Fighting games are going to be fucking annoying at some point, you know? They're going to be frustrating. Is it going to be a game that you'll want to take seriously? Is it going to be a game that should be a front runner at Evo if it has all these busted crazy systems and shit? Who cares? Who cares? Like, to me, that is so unimportant. If it's a game and it's interesting and you're having fun, like, why do you care whether or not the communities around you are going to pick it up?